Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Reconnect Canberra. Thank you so much for joining us all this morning. I'm going to say hi as well to people as they keep logging in, but hi to everyone. I'm Kimberly Roberts-Saleh. I'm the Director of Marketing and Comms at the Canberra Convention Bureau, and I'm joined in this room by our GM, Liz Bendyke.
Good morning, everyone.
Thanks again, like I said, for joining us today. I know that you guys have gone through all the slide content. I'm sure that this is not your first rodeo in terms of Zoom meetings, but just some quick housekeeping tips. If you can please keep your microphone on mute for the duration. You will be kept on mute by the tech team. And at the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A where if you want to ask a live question, you can unmute yourself. We'll also do some Q&A through the chat box. So if you have any questions as you listen and you experience the Famil, please put them in the chat box and we will address them towards the end. If you would like to have your camera on, as most of you do already, that's great. It's awesome to be able to see your lovely faces as we show you around Canberra. And if you want to take some photos, some screenshots throughout the Famil, please feel free to do so. We have our CBR conventions hashtag, so it's Meet Again CBR, and you can tag us on Instagram and Facebook at CBR Conventions, as well as on LinkedIn. That's pretty much it for now. I think we're going to start rolling very soon. So if you guys are all comfortable and ready to go, I hope that you have your wine glasses ready, your meat platter ready, and some cutlery, and we will start through our journey to Canberra.
Hello, my name's Duncan Smith, OAM. I'm a Wiradjuri man. In our language, we call it Wirayuri. I'm here on Ngunnawal country, and Ngunnawal country is a meeting place. So I'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge the traditional owners of this country, the Ngunnawal people, pay respect to their land, their language, their culture, their ancestors, elders of today and into the future. I'm standing here at a significant place today in front of Lake Burley Griffin. You'll see the War Memorial behind me, and then Mount Ainslie behind the War Memorial. Canberra has lots of beautiful places to visit, and also lots of Indigenous sacred sites and stuff that you can explore with the Ngunnawal people. The significance of a welcome to country by a Ngunnawal elder, or by any elder throughout Australia, is to keep and protect your spirit while you are walking on their land. When you walk on a sacred land, you never really know whether you're walking on sacred sites or not. So they do the welcome to country to protect your spirit and allow you access to walk on their land freely and with your spirit protected by the traditional owners of that country.
Thanks, Duncan. And for the Famil, we will start with our Canberra destination video. Thank you.
I knew from the start Canberra was going to be a great city to hold our event.
It's not the Canberra I thought I knew. It was so much more than I expected. Less than 15 minutes from landing at the airport to arriving at my hotel, then a few minutes from the hotel to the venue. As a delegate, everything was just so accessible.
I knew I'd find great venues and hotels and things to do, but I was surprised by the access to the knowledge and intellectual capital Canberra has. Canberra's a university hub. The depth of research and expertise is astounding.
The city is home to more than just politicians and public servants. So many of the world's greatest minds live in Canberra. It was inspiring to be able to meet them in person.
Direct access to policymakers and some of the nation's most influential people allowed us to achieve important outcomes for our industry. Being in the capital means there's links to international governments, markets and media too. You can get your message out to the world from Canberra.
There was so much to do. Lots of festivals, exhibitions, big sporting matches. We were spoiled for choice. Canberra truly is the bush capital. The city is surrounded by nature, open spaces and an abundance of wildlife. And we even spotted some kangaroos as we headed to an evening function.
The food and wine from the region is outstanding. So many great restaurants to choose from.
We saw the most incredible artworks and sculptures. But Canberra is more than just its national institutions. It's also really progressive and forward-thinking. Being in Canberra made us feel like we were part of something important.
It's a great city to do business. Collaboration between suppliers was outstanding, and putting the event together was so straightforward. From start to finish, the whole event was just uncomplicated.
We learnt that Canberra means meeting place, and I can totally see why.
Yes, we would hold another conference in Canberra, absolutely. It's more than I expected. A truly world-class capital.
Good morning and welcome to Reconnect Canberra. Today we're on the top of Mount Ainslie. We thought it'd be the fantastic location to showcase our well-designed, congestion-free city. If you look behind me, we've got Australian Parliament House. If you look to my right, we've got our fantastic Canberra Airport, probably the best airport in Australia and never as well connected nationally as we've seen with new routes opening up all over the country. If you look to my left, we've got our institutions by the lake and our universities, which really speaks to the strengths of Canberra. We probably do knowledge, culture and influence better than anywhere else in Australia. We're really hoping that this taste of Canberra through the virtual Famil will be an entry point for you so that we can welcome you here in person very, very soon. So thank you very much for joining us this morning. I'm going to throw to Steve Wood, General Manager of National Convention Centre Canberra. Steve.
Welcome everyone to the National Convention Centre Canberra. We're delighted you could join us on this virtual tour of Canberra, one of the leading business event destinations in Australia. And now more than ever, Canberra's a great choice. We've proven to be one of the safest destinations during the pandemic, and we're really excited at having the opportunity to welcome our guests back to in-person meetings here at the National Convention Centre. We've already seen a number of large events taking place. Most recently, we had a defence conference earlier this month for 350 people from the defence sector, as well as suppliers, who then went on to enjoy a dinner at which we had about 400 guests. And ahead of us, we have some major events. We have the Cyber Security National Conference in March. It's a 3-day leading conference for the cyber security sector. And again, we're delighted that we'll be seeing over 500 guests joining us, many exhibitors, and a real show of confidence of the return of in-person business events. We're one of the largest indoor venues here in Canberra and provide great flexibility for you to host your events in a very controlled and relaxed COVID-safe manner. So please join me in viewing the facility. We've got some shots and video just to give you a taste of what you can expect when you're joining us in person. Thank you.
I'm Stuart Buchanan, Area Manager Canberra for Encore. Utilising a robust combination of studio spaces and our fully featured virtual platform, virtual events have never been bigger. With restrictions easing in Canberra, it's great to see some in-person events returning. Hybrid is crucial still going forward, and it's great to be able to deliver these events in Canberra at the Convention Centre so successfully.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to part 3 of the National Convention Centre Canberra. My name is Carla Huter, and I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for the NCCC. You've now heard from Stephen, our General Manager, and of course from Stuart, also our partner from Encore. And this little section, get your pens ready, is all about the fast facts on the space. So just a couple of points to note regarding the space here at the centre. First of all, capacities have now increased to 75% as of February the 20th. Great news for the destination and great news for the centre, which has the largest event facilities. For those of you who do know the centre, you will recall that we have 15 meeting rooms over 2 floors, so highly compact, can't lose delegates and flooded with natural daylight. Perhaps the most 2 important spaces for those larger meetings and conferences in-person style is going to be our Royal Theatre, which can now, with the magic number of 75%, hold up to 1,800 delegates, but subject to AV production and staging requirements. Second to that would be our exhibition hall. Again, same caveat, production, AV and staging, but with a 75% capacity of up to 1,500 and in a pillarless space that also covers off trade, expo and catering options for you. In addition to that, you will have heard that we have all the COVID safety practices in play with fully trained staff and a number of services that you can elect to choose from to really add value to the delivery of your events here at the National Convention Centre Canberra. So fast facts, please call any of the team here at the NCCC and we'd be more than happy to run through the creative solutions for you for your next perfect Canberra in-person event.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you I haven't met, I'm Helen. I work at the Convention Bureau. Thank you to the team at NCCC. As Steve said, we are so lucky here in Canberra in terms of being a COVID-safe conference destination. The last community transmitted case was mid-2020, making ACT not only one of the least impacted cities in Australia from COVID-19, but also one of the least likely to be impacted again. On that note, we have some more great venues to show you. Alongside the National Convention Centre, Canberra also has a great range of hotels that offer a variety of styles, price points and accommodation. There's a multitude of event spaces to cover everything from an exclusive private dinner for 10 through to multi-space functions, gala dinners and exhibitions. We've selected a few to showcase today, which will give you a taste of what the city has to offer for your event. Let's take a look.
We've just seen the National Convention Centre Canberra, and as a great segue to this, I'd like to introduce you to A Bayadina. This is an all-new premium hotel living experience. This new brand was only launched last month, and Canberra is lucky to be home to the first A Bayadina in the world. The hotel is only 300 metres from the National Convention Centre, so it's a great option for your delegates. The design of the hotel is contemporary with detailed simplicity and quiet confidence. There are 130 apartments with studio, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom options. As part of the hotel precinct, there is Lyric Lane, which is an activated laneway offering a great variety of food and beverage offerings. Heading up Northbourne Avenue on the light rail route, we have the Canberra Rex Hotel. This hotel features over 900 square metres of event space, all of which were refurbished last year. There are 7 meeting rooms and 2 ballrooms, which can be easily configured to accommodate a variety of different events. At the top of the hotel, you'll find the Howling Moon. This is Canberra's coolest rooftop bar with great views of the city. This space can be booked for private functions and is perfect for a welcome event or a group of VIPs. We'll now head over Lake Burley Griffin to the Realm Precinct, which offers 4 hotels at different star ratings and price points. as well as multiple restaurants, bars, cafes, day spas, gyms, a hairdressing salon and a pharmacy. There's plenty to do for those staying pre or post-conference or for partners of delegates. Hotel Realm is the flagship property within the precinct. It's a 5-star hotel offering 163 rooms and over 1,000 square metres of flexible event space, which was all refurbished at the end of 2018. Moving close to the shores of the lake, we have the 1920s heritage-listed 5-star Hyatt Hotel, which interweaves the mystique of the 1920s with modern Art Deco design. The hotel offers 252 luxury oversized guest rooms, and this includes 13 suites for any extra special guests that you need to look after. The hotel has a dedicated conference floor with 10 versatile venues to cover all event formats. The Hyatt can accommodate 600 for cocktails and 340 for banquet-style events. You could also incorporate an outdoor venue into your event in either the Lavender or the Rose courtyards. Both of these are beautifully manicured and you can easily forget that you're in the capital city. For our final part of the hotel tour, we finish in the New Acton precinct at QT Canberra. This hotel also features a dedicated conference floor that can host cocktail events up to 1,000 guests and up to 600 for a banquet. The hotel offers 205 guest rooms. There are a couple of pretty unique function spaces for you to use exclusively throughout your event. If guests walk through the barbershop on the ground floor, they'll find Lucky's, a slick Prohibition-style speakeasy. There's also QT Lounge, which is perched on the 15th floor with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view over the city and the lake.
I hope this has given you a good overview, especially for those of you that haven't been to our wonderful city for a while. One of the great things about Canberra is its accessibility and ease of getting around. We're lucky that rush hour traffic isn't really a thing here. So if you choose any of the conference venues that we've just seen, you're still within easy reach of all of our iconic institutions if you want to include them in your program. You'll get to see some of these attractions a little later. For now, we're going to head over to Scott at Pialligo, where you can enjoy some of the delicious treats you've got in front of you during a masterclass with their head chef, Mark.
Welcome to Reconnect Canberra and welcome to Pialligo Estate. We are 55 acres of corporate possibilities right here on the Molonglo River. No more than 8 or 9 minutes just out of the centre of Canberra. The estate is expansive. It's been here for over 150 years. There's vineyards, there's olive groves, there's market gardens where our whiz kid Mark Glenn goes crazy and creates all sorts of wonderful culinary things. 9 distinct corporate spaces with a team of 7 right in the office ready to take your call. So the spaces are really diverse and we take advantage of this wonderful estate. Everything's got a fantastic view and they range in size from our cute little bungalow that holds 12 for a day delegate package right up to the glass house for 300 people out on the lawns watching the sunset right behind Parliament House. And of course, if you want to get wild and woolly, pull the gumboots on and get out amidst nature. We can take you down to the market garden or the olive grove or the vineyard and create a bespoke corporate entertainment package just for you guys. Speaking of corporate entertainment, Mark Glenn, wonder boy, master of the kitchen and grower of all things superb, is ready to show you what he can do.
G'day troops, hello out there. COVID people, CCB, God, you're clever, aren't you, Kimberly? Always find a way to promote us. Thanks for, getting us involved in this really great undertaking. Mark's here, ready to walk you through that little care package that I think arrived in the post maybe a couple of days ago. So, hey, let's not mess about. Let's jump straight into it. Mark, what have we got?
All right, so we've got a pretty solid selection from out at the Pialligo Smokehouse. I'll start off with the seafood elements, a little bit lighter. So the gravlax, which you'll be able to tell which one it is because it's got the chopped dill sort of on the top and bottom of it. So this is a little bit different to the rest of the products that we do because it's only cured, it's not smoked.
Right.
The cure is just dill and white pepper with some raw sugar, and we just cure it until it's nice and firm, and then slice it and then send it out to you. As far as assembly, I think you can be pretty free form with things like this. So with fish, I kind of like to sort of try and twist some, so they're like little rosettes, I guess. And then the others I try and keep whole just so that they look nice and bright on the plate.
Are you going to get annoyed if I eat some, Mark?
You might want to wait till the end, but
just
sure.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, always gets annoyed.
Following from that one, the second fish product that you've got in your little package is cold smoked. The reason that we use cold smoking is because it has a very different flavour profile. So for something that's a fatty fish, but very, very delicate in flavour, it's actually better to use a cold smoke because the smoke itself is sweeter. When you sort of smoke with hot smoke, it becomes a little bit more acrid and really intense, which holds up better to things like, duck and things like that, whereas fish, something lighter and sweet is always a better option.
And just lets the quality of the salmon just kind of shine through.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so salmon from the guys at Hewen in Tassie, just great operators. We're really proud to, join forces with those guys, and, the calibre with which they deliver it helps us win all the awards we do, right?
Yeah, so we'll move into the pork section, I guess. So the first is the ham, which I suppose the biggest difference between this and the sort of store-bought ham that you'll find anywhere else is just the real sort of texture and sort of length in it. The reason for that is because we don't add lots and lots of water to it.
Yep.
So that's kind of the hidden butcher's technique, is to add lots of water to get more weight, which we simply just don't do because, the flavour of it is a whole different world in comparison to what you can purchase anywhere else.
And 100% RSPCA, all Australian pork, of course. Wouldn't dream of doing it any other way. Cut no corners, right?
Yeah, that's it. If you start with a good product, you don't have to do too much to it to get it to where you want.
Sure.
So moving on from that, we've got pork pastrami. Pastrami, we have this is a relatively new product in comparison to some of the others. We brine this and then it gets smoked with lots of spices, so things like paprika, coriander, peppercorns, pretty traditional style as far as the actual seasoning. But I suppose having it super thin and sliced the way it is makes it really ideal for not just charcuterie boards, but anything like sandwiches and whatever else you can sort of muster up. After that one, we've got some pork tarso. So tarso is technically not a ham, even though it's quite often called that. The reason for that is it's made from shoulder, not leg.
Right.
So this is kind of a Louisiana style or sort of Cajun sort of style products. And I suppose the spice in this is something that you sort of don't get with a lot of other hams. There's quite a bit of sort of interest in the sort of spice end of it compared to other sort of hams.
And it's looks it's a little fattier, right? So it can handle that kind of bigger sort of spice load.
Yeah, which is the reason that we sort of use the shoulder for it is because of that sort of like fatty texture to it.
Yeah, sure.
And it's pretty beautiful product actually.
So it's not just the smokehouse that we're going to show you, Mark's. Also does some pretty great things down in the garden, and looks like you got a bit of pickle there for us, mate.
Yeah, so working with Pete, our head gardener, we've sort of managed to get to a point where about 80 to 90% of what's coming out of the garden we can utilise, and a lot of that comes through pickling and fermenting and that kind of thing, so that we've got some really beautiful things to put on boards. In the packs that you've got there, you've got some pickled zucchini. These are probably my favourite pickles because they taste a little bit like Big Mac sauce.
Yeah, right.
But they're just super delicious and really there's sort of lots of vinegar, but then also lots of mustard seeds and hot mustard, and it just gives it that sort of complex sort of flavour profile to it.
How long does it pickle for?
We have some pretty good kit here, so we back pickle them, so we can use them 24 hours later. Right. If you do them in jars and things like that, they take about a month.
Right.
And then we also have some pickled onions. So these ones we salt for 24 hours, then we rinse them off, and then we pickle them in malt vinegar and a whole bunch of sort of spices and sugar and salt and all that type of thing. And again, just really, really good produce out of the garden, super fresh, treated properly, and you don't really need to do too much else.
Am I allowed to have a little go now, or do I have to wait?
Well, we're not finished yet. So the last couple of bits, so the poultry section that you've got there is some smoked duck. And again, this one is, like I said before, going to stand up to hot smoke much better. Just because duck is obviously a pretty robust sort of flavour profile.
Yeah.
I like to slice these reasonably thin, but not so thin it's like shaved ham or anything like that. You get a really nice bounce and texture out of that. And the reason for that is because we cook it while we smoke it.
Right.
So we cook it to an internal temperature of 60 degrees, and that keeps it juicy and plump, but soft enough to sort of, you know, slice nice and thin.
And same process with the chicken? Is that hot smoked as well?
Pretty close. So it's just a slightly different brine, but as far as the cooking process, yes, that's the sort of end of the world we're going to. And again, you know, chicken, even though it's not a super intense flavour, really holds up to those heavier sort of smoke ends.
Yeah, completely delicious. So Mrs. just charcuterie boards. How many of these do we serve a week across that pass, mate?
More than I can count.
Yeah, it's quite a few. Can I have a go now?
Sure.
All right, about time.
Oh, should we show them what it looks like?
Oh, go on then. Oh, jeez. So there we go, guys. How's that look? Oh, yum. So look, hopefully you're getting stuck in, and hopefully you're enjoying a bit of Pialligo goodness. Now, you're about to enjoy a helicopter flight to Shore Vineyard and a wine tasting with Graham. So over to you, Graham.
Hi everyone, welcome to Shore Wines and our virtual Famil in our vineyard. I'm Graham Shaw, and at present I'm standing next to some of our Cabernet Sauvignon vines. We established the vineyard from scratch, planting 32 hectares of mainly the classic varieties. All of these vines are about 20 years old and they're reaching their optimum development. Now, Shore Wines is a family business started by myself and my wife Anne, and then soon after my daughter Tanya and her husband Mick came along. Now, along with Karen and our wonderful cellar door staff, we have what we believe, and I believe, is the premier must-visit cellar door in the Canberra region. Our tourism and wine awards back up this statement. At present, we're preparing for our 21 vintage. We've just finished trimming the vines and mowing the mid-rows. All the nets are going on at present to protect the grapes from the birds, and we try and run the whole vineyard very sustainably, and since 2017 we've not used any herbicides or pesticides, and we're working on creating a natural ecosystem environment under the vines. We do this to ensure there's a habitat for many beneficial insects which help ward off unwanted visitors such as moths and caterpillars. In fact, this is the first year that we've never had a caterpillar in the vines. We've also introduced beehives into the vineyard to help pollinate all the native grasses and flowers, and also assist in building up our little ecosystem. Later on this year, we hope to have our Shore honey on sale at the cellar door. As you can see under the vines, it doesn't really look pretty with the weeds, etc. I don't care what it looks like. All I'm interested in is producing good quality, chemical-free fruit so we can produce excellent wines. After harvest, we let our flock of merinos wander around and graze in the vines
Not only do they assist in having to mow it a bit, but we also get free fertiliser dropped all under the vines for us. Now going to hand over to Karen to take you through our cellar door and the taste of our grape wines.
Thanks, Graham, and welcome everyone to Shore Wine's Cellar Door. We're downstairs here in our private cellar to taste some of our award-winning wines. Over my shoulder here, you can see our lovely old port barrel. It comes from the Ruther Glen and is over 100 years old. It was lowered into the space as we were building, and then we built the cellar door around it. It's a great feature in this room, along with the recycled bricks and the timber ceiling. The ceiling does have a slight curve to it, just like a wine barrel. This exclusive space is great for senior management meetings or corporate planning days. It has its own Wi-Fi and a TV that you can connect to presentations. It seats up to 18 people in a boardroom style setup. We also use this room as part of our Shore Escape, which is a new experience featuring luxury travel, premium wines and gourmet food. With our own helipad, you can treat your VIP delegates to a bespoke experience, travelling from Pialligo Estate to us by helicopter as you did today. Or you can travel by road. We're just a short 30-minute drive from Canberra CBD. So now for a bit of fun, let's taste some wine. So not everybody has the same wines. Most of you will have a red and only 6 of you will have a white, which is our Riscado, which I hope you have chill the Riscado. Unfortunately, we lost our entire 2020 vintage due to smoke taint. The Canberra region was shrouded in smoke for over 3 months from the end of 2019 and into 2020. This occurred right when the grapes were growing and ripening, so they absorbed a lot of the smoke. So when we did our testing, we found that the smoke levels were so high, it really was like licking an ashtray. So the tough decision was made to drop the entire crop, although our sheep had a lovely feed of grapes. So at present, we have some lovely marinated lambs running around out in the paddock there. Okay, so you should have your bottled wine in front of you. Feel free to crack it open now if you haven't already. I'll run through each variety, but you're welcome to enjoy your wine as we go. So we have 5 wines in total. So let's start with our winemaker's Merlot. So beautiful blueberries, dark chocolate, underlying tone of cinnamon forest fruits. So if you give your glass a good swirl, that's where you get your aromas when you're smelling your wine. So now to have a drink. So a really soft palette of blueberries and blackberries with some spice and oak there as well. So that one I would serve with some light meats, such as duck or quail, or a pasta dish as well. Next, we have our Shiraz. So Shiraz is the #1 red grape in the Canberra region. Cool climate style Shiraz. This one does have a nose of raspberries, red currants, and red licorice. Give that a taste. Some beautiful tannins in there. Oh, sorry. Some cedary sort of flavours, a bit of French oak as well. So this one being a little bit heavier, I would go with some barbecued red meats, mushrooms, or some aged cheeses. Now on to a blend. So for those of you that have our Cabernet Merlot, great nose of blackberry spice and mulberry as well, maybe some cinnamon and nutmeg you might get. Sorry, I do like the blend. Great palette of mulberries and blackberry flavours coming through, again with some soft oak tannins in that one. This one I'd serve with some steak or game meat and maybe a tomato-based pasta dish. Last of our reds is our Cabernet Sauvignon. So Cab Sav is probably our most awarded variety from our vineyard. This one, black cherries, currants, maybe with a hint of chocolate in there as well. So you sort of have your ripe red currants, blueberries with a really soft finish on that one. For this one, I would serve with some braised or roast meat. So think about, your nice piece of lamb or a piece of beef with some vegetables with lots of herbs and things like that. And then finally, we have for our whites is our Escato. So a bit of play on words here. It's a Riesling Semillon blend. It's made like an Moscato, but not as sweet. So I always describe this one as a bit of fun wine, nothing too serious. Just you do get that nose of Riesling coming through, so your green apples and pears, and a sweet fresh wine just for enjoying in the sun. Serve this one chilled. Oh, that's good. So I hope you enjoyed these wines. This is, of course, just a small example of what we have available. Now we're going to get ready to head upstairs and for me to show you our main tasting room. So if you're looking for some great pre or post-conference options or even just suggestions for delegates who are planning on spending a bit of time in Canberra, we offer a seated tasting in our spacious cellar door for visitors and we're open 7 days. A lounge or terrace is a great place to enjoy a glass of wine. We also have cheese plates and charcuterie boards available where visitors can sit and relax and just enjoy the views across the vineyard. There's also an on-site restaurant that is open for lunch Friday to Sunday and dinner Thursday to Saturday. They're called Oliveville at Shore Vineyard and their menu centres around their wood-fired oven with a focus on shareable plates. A visit to us here at Shore Wines can be incorporated as part of an incentive or corporate meeting itinerary, and the team at the Bureau can help you put together a program to include the best of the Canberra region. Well, thanks for visiting us today. I hope you've enjoyed what we have on offer. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll now hand over to you, Sam, at the Canberra Convention Bureau. Cheers.
Thank you, for everyone for joining us today. For those that I have not met, I'm Samantha Septon I'm Director of Business Development based in Sydney and work for the Canberra Convention Bureau. Thank you to Scott and Mark from Pialligo Estate and Karen from Shore Estate, that immersive component of the Famil today. I hope you're all enjoying a glass of wine and some of the fine produce from Pialligo. And I'm just going to take you through and showcase some of the many institutions located in Canberra. So each museum and gallery express diverse aspects of our story through architecture, exhibitions and collections. Canberra offers such a great range of venue spaces within these institutions. Events often incorporate a few of these institutions in whether it be pre or post touring or within the actual program itself. So that their delegates can get a real feel for Canberra as a destination. Due to the unique setting, most of the venues don't require any theming for the social events, so that's good for your budgets, obviously. They're all located in close proximity, so they provide, very close to the hotels, so only a short transfer within your program. All the venues offer ample parking, easy access, good for small to large drop-off buses and all of those kind of things that we all look for easy planning. Most of the venues have exclusive caterers. They focus on the seasonal produce and they tailor the menus, obviously, for your events. There's also the opportunity, which has worked really well for some of my clients, is using it, the institutions as a breakout as part of their main event. Just if they've got a tight program, they can get them out and do different breakouts. So now we're just going to head to some footage just to showcase some of those venues. Firstly, we begin with a visit to the National Museum of Australia. Grand indoor and outdoor spaces, sweeping decks and expansive windows provide mountain, lake and city views in the place where Australia's stories come alive. The museum offers versatile function spaces to accommodate a variety of corporate and special events. The largest space, the Gandul Atrium, accommodates a cocktail reception for up to 1,000
or as a dinner venue for up to 500 guests. You can also add private gallery and exhibition viewings for delegates throughout their time in Canberra. The museum is on track to open an exciting new gallery and mezzanine space, which will be adjacent to the Visions Theatre in spring 2021. Next, we will head to the National Gallery of Australia. As well as being the National Art Museum, the National Gallery of Australia is one of the largest, holding more than 166,000 works of art. As well as a range of theatre and small venue spaces to hire, the gallery features Gandor Hall, a multi-purpose venue space with floor-to-ceiling windows which open onto an outdoor terrace with a large garden. This is an ideal space to host cocktail events. The space accommodates up to 900 guests for cocktail events and 350 for dinner events. There is also the option to host a private exhibition showing prior to a dinner event or during the day as part of an event touring program. Only a short walk away is the National Portrait Gallery, home to the nation's portrait collection. Among the 2,500 portraits, you will find the stories of those who have shaped and changed Australia and those who reflect Australia's history, creativity and identity. Private tours with a curator, scheduled as part of your delegate's itinerary, provide unique insights into the portrait collection. Flexible event spaces are suitable for all events, including conferences and evening events for up to 250 banquet and 500 cocktail style. Additional spaces are available during the day for a unique conference setting. We move on to the prominent Australian Parliament House. A personalised tour of Parliament House is a great inclusion in a program to showcase the behind-the-scenes access. A visit to Parliament House can include a tour of the world-renowned architecture and artworks, or a visit to the Federal Parliament Press Gallery. It is also a chance to meet with federal parliamentarians that make decisions about what is important within your industry, or to reach prominent media outlets to get your message out far and wide. The Great Hall and the Marble Foyer provide impressive settings for high-profile dinner and gala events, and there are many additional function spaces available. The largest space accommodates up to 1,000 cocktail and 600 banquet events. Next, we'll head to Australian War Memorial, with exciting plans underway to create additional unique venue space. The project includes a new southern entrance, refurbishment of the main building, a new Anzac Hall, a new research centre connected to the Poppies Cafe forecourt, and public realm works. The works will be carried out in stages to ensure the memorial remains open to visitors and is expected to be completed in 2028. In the meantime, one option available to delegates is to attend the last post ceremony, a moving and unique experience as each night the ceremony shares the story of one individual named on the Roll of Honour. On to Old Parliament House, also referred to as Moab, seat of the Parliament of Australia from 1927 to 1988, is home to the Museum of Australian Democracy. As well as being a beautiful building and a national icon, it offers great options for events across 11 versatile spaces, many with natural light, catering for up to 400 banquet and 500 cocktail style. A behind-the-scenes tour is also an option as part of an event or as a standalone experience, or a visit to the many exhibitions available at Moab. We will end our institution part of the Famil with the National Arboretum. With wide open spaces and breathtaking views of the city, you will find over 44,000 rare and endangered trees across a 250 hectare site. The Arboretum is a wonderful place to hold an event or include as part of an itinerary. The village centre is the largest indoor venue, accommodating up to 900 guests for cocktail receptions and 550 guests for seated dinners. For more bespoke events, the Margaret Whitlam Pavilion, available day and evening, accommodates up to 120 guests. Surround yourself in living artworks at the National Bonsai and Penjing Collection of Australia, which offers a unique setting for pre-dinner drinks.
So we hope we've given you a good taste of we hope that we've given you a good taste of Canberra's offerings. We look forward to welcoming you in person with your clients. we're now going to move on to questions or any feedback. We'd love to get your feedback on the Famil that we put together. Obviously, Helen and I will be in contact in the future, but please, if there's any other information that you would like us to send you, we'd love to, work with you and hopefully bring you to Canberra soon.
Thanks, Sam. I hope that everybody enjoyed this whirlwind tour of Canberra. I saw quite a few of you enjoying the beautiful produce from Pialligo and having a few sips of wine. So I hope that this will make your afternoon even better. I just want to thank everyone. So I want to thank Pialligo Estates and also Karen at Shaw Wines for showcasing their beautiful produce, and also the team at the Bureau for taking us over the national institutions and the hotels and function space. I'm going to throw it to the Q&As. So if anyone has any questions, I'm going to be monitoring the chat, but also feel free to unmute yourself and to ask any questions. I also want to welcome Steve Wood. He's the General Manager at the National Convention Centre Canberra, who has just joined us for the Q&A session. So if you have any questions for Steve as well, please feel free to throw them to the team.
Hi, I'm Sonia from Ovation. I didn't really have a question. I just wanted to express my thanks for today. I think you guys did a great job. Obviously, as I'm sure like many of the people on the panel who have attended, we get invited to a lot of these things, and I think you were very succinct in the way that you presented the destination. It was engaging, and obviously receiving such a lovely pack prior really enhanced the experience. So hats off to you guys for a great job. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia.
Yeah, thanks, Sonia.
Did anyone have any questions? So I
was going to say, you've obviously done too good a job and answered everyone's question.
That's right. I do actually there's a question that came in for you, Steve. Wondering how the relaxing of restrictions are going ahead at the National Convention Centre Canberra, and how you guys are managing for COVID-safe events at the moment.
Can you hear me clearly there, Kimberly? Certainly, we've just had restrictions ease here in the ACT, and there's been a special consideration for the convention centre. We're about to be permitted to operate at 75%. That gives us great capacity and flexibility. But I think also really importantly, it's giving confidence to the market, and I hope for all of you on the tour today, the ACT is a fantastic place to be able to hold your events in a very safe environment. We've got a lot of confidence that the experts in this, the health department, are comfortable that we can operate at that 75% capacity. So as much as giving the flexibility to do things, it's also about that confidence to everybody that they can move ahead and plan to do those events, which is great.
Thanks, Steve. And can you elaborate a little bit on the social distancing tech that's available at the Convention Centre Canberra in partnership with Canberra Convention Bureau?
Yeah, certainly. So here in the ACT, there's a couple of things to assist in ensuring that the events run safely, but also that if there were any issues, that they can be dealt with very, very quickly and effectively. Obviously, contact tracing is a key part of the solution to managing the risks that still surround us with COVID. So not only is there a very effective and simple Canberra check-in app that is used at every venue in the ACT, where that data goes directly to the ACT Health Department, but the Bureau have also made available what's called Smart Badge free of charge for events that are being held at member venues, such as ourselves here at the National Convention Centre Canberra, where the Smart Badge allows each delegate to wear a device that will give better granular detail on that contact tracing. So it would actually not only tell you who was at the venue, but who actually came into contact with each other and for how long. So if there was a situation where somebody tested positive, you could, in a far more rapid and granular way, see who actually came in contact with that person so that it didn't have such a widespread impact of needing to shut down and isolate. So, it's a leading technology. Aspen Medical, who one of the global leaders in pandemic response, saw Smart Badge as really the best contact tracing technology available. It's a company here in Australia, which is a great story. And the Bureau, working in conjunction with the ACT government, have made that technology available free of charge to give that extra layer of confidence for organisers.
Thanks, Steve. And yes, if anyone wants any more information about the Smart Badge, you can get in touch with Helen and Sam, and they'll be able to provide you all the details as to how you can use it for your next event in Canberra. We have a question with regards to a copy of this video. So yes, you can really relive the experience over and over and over. We have recorded this Famil, and if you want to share it with some of your team, or if you want to refer back to it, we'll be able to share a link to the recording shortly after this.
Kimberly, I have a question. Don Borg.
Yes.
The light rail route, and I haven't been to Canberra for a while, where does that take in, the light rail route?
I'll throw to Mike to answer that question, and he can elaborate a little bit more on the light rail and the next stages of development.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's good afternoon. First off, if you're wondering what Smart Badge looks like, that is what it looks like. It's a little Fitbit style thing. And on light rail, we have finished stage 1, and we're now pushing from the centre of the city, which goes past that roundabout right to the lake, and we're in the process of getting government approvals to go over the lake and then run past Parliament House and over to Woden. So that's stage 2. So what that does for when you think about conference delegate experience, it means they can stay all the way up Northbourne Avenue now and shoot down into the city for their conference experience if they're at the centre.
Is it following the hotel route per se?
Yeah, it goes past about a dozen hotels along the way to the centre, drops you off probably about 200 metres from the centre. The next stage where it'll go around the right-hand side of the roundabout, which is where the QT is, and then it'll go over the lake.
Lovely. And again, how often does it run?
All the time. I don't know if you know Canberra well. You're either a north sider or a south sider, and I'm a south sider, which means the two never meet. No, I'm just kidding. It is very frequent and oversubscribed so much to this that they've ordered more trams for that route because they were overwhelmed with how popular it's been, even though there was a lot of negativity early on. We're definitely on board. I think different to Sydney, it was completed on time as well. So,
thank you.
I'm a north sider, so I can confirm that in rush hour, the light rail goes every 4 minutes. A bit less frequent during weekends and evenings, but still, it's never any longer than a 7 to 15 minute wait. And it's very comfortable, very quick, and very convenient.
Lovely, thank you.
You're welcome. There's a question for Pialligo, and Matt is joining us here from Pialligo. He's the senior manager there. Matt, if you can just talk about a little bit about the master classes and how they can be incorporated into a corporate group or corporate event, that would be great.
Sure. So we've got, if anyone wants to jump onto our website, pialligoestate.com.au, and search or look at the academy section of that website, you'll see a range of masterclasses which are run here at the estate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and occasionally on weekends. There's everything from Moroccan, pizza making, smoking and curing, to this Saturday we've got an art class. I think it's watercolour and wine. So any of those elements of those courses or classes can be broken down into smaller bits, expanded into larger bits. They're great for breakout team building sessions, so you can break your groups into teams and actually get some education out of the experience as well as team building and a bit of fun. So Mark has a team of, I'd say, close to 25, 30 chefs across the various businesses. So connected to the estate, we have another site called The Plot, where there's a cafe which runs 6 days a week, and it runs barbecues and kids events and more casual events to barbecues and events down by the river here. So Mark's team can adapt one of the existing formats, or again just create something really bespoke and unique for your group and your desires. So as I say, jump online, pialligoestate.com.au, have a look there, and if you want to get in touch with one of our events team to talk about something a bit more bespoke and tailored, more than happy to do that.
So we have one more question, Steve, about the hybrid meeting capabilities. So Stuart gave us a bit of an overview of what Encore is doing in terms of hybrid meeting tech. And we know that we obviously are trying to get back to in-person events, but hybrid is still going to be a reality for a little bit. So can you just expand a little bit on what Encore and the Centre are doing for hybrid meetings?
Yeah, certainly. And look, as much as we are very excited about transitioning back to seeing everyone here again and things being a little bit more focused around that in person, I think without question there'll be its prevalence where there'll be an in-person event, but also a hybrid or online component to that event, and that will become only more and more commonplace. And we're excited that will enable greater reach for your events and greater return on investment. We partner with Encore here, who are one of the leading audiovisual providers in Australia. They're also linked to one of the largest AV companies globally, who invest billions every year and in research and development. The team here in the ACT is headed up by Stuart Buchanan, who is also one of the most experienced audiovisual professionals in Australia. And groups like the absolute heads of defence have full confidence in working with the Encore team. They delivered a couple of key online defence events late last year. We have a permanently set up studio in one of our meeting rooms so that a number of events have been able to utilise all the technology that is set up ready to go. Another example being ABARE's large national agricultural conference that was just delivered online earlier this year as well. The bandwidth at the centre, it's one of the beautiful things about Canberra is we get all the benefits of being a major metropolitan centre, really, what you would expect in terms of technology in Sydney, but with the ease and movement of what feels like a country town at times, particularly over the last 12 months. But you can be very confident that when you come to Canberra, you've got the kind of bandwidth that you need to be able to very, very easily broadcast without trouble. You can have purely dedicated lines for your event here, or you can access, as we are at the moment, just the actual free Wi-Fi that's in the centre. But we would very much encourage that you discuss with Encore or other AV providers who can work here at the centre with us on your needs, and they can then tailor. It's the confidence of knowing that the bandwidth and capability is here, not only in the National Convention Centre, but in Canberra more broadly.
Thanks, Steve. We've got time for one more question if anyone wants to jump in. Otherwise, I will throw it to Mike to wrap up. But first and foremost, I want to thank all our presenters, Karen, Scott, Mark, and also our team, Sam and Helen, for taking you through this journey of Canberra, in Canberra. And thanks to you guys for joining us on this lovely afternoon. So if there's no more questions, I'll throw to Mike and we will conclude.
Thanks, Kim. And thanks everyone for joining us. One of the things about doing the virtual Famil is this is an entry point for some of you, and for some of you who haven't been to see us for a while, and with the hopes of welcoming you to the city in the very near future. The important thing about Canberra is it's your capital and it's the capital of your delegates, and we have stories to tell that that we think they should know. And when they leave, not only we talk a lot of the international markets, they get an understanding of Australia through the nation's capital. I think there's a real opportunity to tell that story to Australians as well. So we're really spoiled with the hotels and the food and beverage offering and the institutions, but we're also a very small collaborative community as well, where we can make things happen easily, which I know as planners you appreciate. So thank you again for joining us. While I didn't have a Pialligo board, I did manage to find a bottle of wine in my office, so I was able to partake with you, so that was good. The virtual Famil is put together by the team at the virtual Famil, and that's with support of Tourism Australia. So without those two, we couldn't have pulled this off. And Kim has mentioned the Centre, Encore, Pialligo and Shore, and all the other different institutions that helped us pull this together. Very soon from now, we'll be touching base. 2021 has to be better than 2020. And that means getting back to some semblance of normalcy. So 75% at the centre is very important. Steve, you didn't mention stand-up drinking, which I think is one of those normalisations that we need. The sitting around and not being able to move freely is a problem for our industry. But importantly, you can do it safely here. And what we're hearing from clients is that people are less worried about catching COVID, they're more worried about the border restrictions. And one of the things that the ACT has been a beneficiary of is we haven't had other states impose snap decisions on Canberra like we've seen in other places. I think it's because of our good health response, and we've somewhat flown under the radar there a little bit too. So we do think we're a perfect hybrid meeting location, great proximity to the major population centres on the East Coast, and really good connected access. So we really look forward to welcoming you in the near future. And with that, I'm going to say thank you once again and sign off and raise my glass to you. And you can't really see it, it's a bit hidden. And cheers to you.
I knew from the start Canberra was going to be a great city to hold our event.
It's not the Canberra I thought I knew. It was so much more than I expected. Less than 15 minutes from landing at the airport to arriving at my hotel, then a few minutes from the hotel to the venue. As a delegate, everything was just so accessible.
I knew I'd find great venues and hotels and things to do, but I was surprised by the access to the knowledge and intellectual capital Canberra has. Canberra's a university hub. The depth of research and expertise is astounding.
The city is home to more than just politicians and public servants. So many of the world's greatest minds live in Canberra. It was inspiring to be able to meet them in person.
Direct access to policymakers and some of the nation's most influential people allowed us to achieve important outcomes for our industry. Being in the capital means there's links to international governments, markets and media too. You can get your message out to the world from Canberra.
There was so much to do. Lots of festivals, exhibitions, big sporting matches. We were spoiled for choice. Canberra truly is the bush capital. The city is surrounded by nature, open spaces and an abundance of wildlife. And we even spotted some kangaroos as we headed to an evening function.
The food and wine from the region is outstanding. So many great restaurants to choose from.
We saw the most incredible artworks and sculptures. But Canberra is more than just its national institutions. It's also really progressive and forward-thinking. Being in Canberra made us feel like we were part of something important.
It's a great city to do business. Collaboration between suppliers was outstanding, and putting the event together was so straightforward. From start to finish, the whole event was just uncomplicated.
We learnt that Canberra means meeting place, and I can totally see why.
Yes, we would hold another conference in Canberra, absolutely. It's more than I expected. A truly world-class capital.